Hello students, welcome to the class of Basic Electrical Engineering followed by the code EE201. I am Priyanjali Mukherjee, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department of Narula Institute of Technology. Today we will discuss on the concept of power factor and power in AC circuit. So in this video lecture, we will discuss on the power, AC power, power comparison, power factor, power triangle, low power factor, drawback of low power factor and the references. So power is nothing but the multiplication of voltage and current. But there are three types of powers. One is active power, reactive power and apparent power. Now normally the power which we are using, that is kilowatt, it also can be measured in watts and provides the working part of the power. So it produces heat, light or the motion. Next is the reactive power. Reactive power only maintains the electromagnetic field and provides no working part of the power system, and it measured in the volt ampere reactive. Next is the apparent power. Apparent power is measured volt ampere or kVA, which provide both the working and non-working parts of the power system. So here we can see that active power and reactive power, and the phasor sum of this active and reactive power gives us the total system capacity in kVA, kilovolt ampere. So what is AC power? So if we consider this waveform, we can see that from 0 to T1 both the voltage and current is positive. So one load is connected and supply is given. Due to that supply, I current is flowing through it, and during this 0 to T1 both the V and I is positive. So the power is the multiplication of V and I. So the power becomes positive during this time. Now from T to T1, V is 0 volt. So the power is 0. And from T1 to T2, the current is positive, but the voltage is negative. Therefore, the power becomes negative. Similarly, from T2 to T3, both the voltage and current is negative and power is positive, and so on. So the positive value of the power waveform represents the real or working power which is delivered from source to load, and the negative value of power represents the reactive power which is returned from the load to the source. That means just opposite of the previous one. So let us compare the different powers of R, L and C circuit. So first we are considering the resistance is connected and the drop across resistance is VR. So here we can see when the current and voltage is there and all are then in the same phase, because in case of purely resistive circuit there is no phase difference between the voltage and current signal. And in the first half cycle the power is positive because here both the current and voltage is positive over here, and similarly for the second half cycle as both of the voltage and current is negative, that's why power is again positive over here, and we can calculate the average power, that is Vm into Im divided by 2, or we can write here Vm by root 2 into Im by root 2, that means Vrms into Irms. That means average power is the Vrms and into Irms. Next, the resistance has been replaced by an inductor, and if we consider the inductor, then we can find out that during this first half cycle the volt power is positive, then for the second half cycle the power is negative, for third half cycle the power is again positive, and final one power is negative. That means for the negative cases the energy has been released, where for the positive half cycles, that means the energy has been stored. So in case of capacitor, just the opposite thing is happening, that during the first half cycle when both the current is positive and voltage is negative, then the power becomes negative, that means energy has been released, and then for the positive half cycle the energy has been stored and then again released, then again stored. So this is the comparison of power when the different equipments has been connected to it. First one is resistance, next inductance, and third one is the capacitor. So next is the power factor. So the cosine angle between the voltage and current in an AC circuit is known as the power factor. Now the power factor involves the relationship between two types of power. One is the working power and another is the reactive power. Now the electrical energy is almost exclusively generated, transmitted and distributed in the form of AC current. Therefore, the power factor has the main important role in the AC circuit. Now most of the loads, almost 80% of the loads in electrical distribution system are inductive loads, and hence they have low power factor, which is highly undesirable. Now the low power factor causes an increase in the reactive current, which causes additional losses. So active power is much more important rather than this reactive current, and we have desirable is active power must be greater than this reactive power. Now it is very important to have the power factor as close to unity as possible, because leading power factor is also undesirable for the power system. So what are the power factors for these three type of circuits? One is pure R, then RL, and the RC circuit. So if we consider the circuit is resistive, that means it contains only the resistance, then due to the supply the current flowing through the circuit is also sinusoidal in nature, and here the voltage and current are in the same phase. So in same phase means there is no phase difference between these, and here the power factor becomes unity. So in this phasor diagram we can see that voltage and current is in same phase, but the magnitude of current is less than VR, and there is no phase difference between this VR and IR. Next is the RL circuit. So if we consider the RL circuit, then the voltage is leading by the current, or current is lagging by the voltage by theta angle, or during this phasor diagram also we can see the power factor is lagging power factor, because the current is lagging behind the voltage by theta. And next one is the capacitive circuit, RC circuit, and in the RC circuit current is leading by the voltage, or the total current leads by voltage angle theta, and power factor is considered as the leading power factor, because in anti-clockwise direction current is in the leading position. Next is the power triangle. So before going to the power triangle, we are already familiar with the voltage triangle and the impedance triangle. And voltage triangle says that the total voltage drop in the resistance and total voltage drop in inductive voltage is VL. Then the total supply voltage V is equal to root over of VR square plus VL square. Or in the impedance triangle, we can find out that root over of R square plus XL square becomes the Z, where R represents the resistance, XL represents the inductive reactance. Now, in the voltage triangle and the impedance triangle, we know that R, X and Z are related to each other, and the angle between the Z and R becomes the impedance triangle, is known as the phase angle of the circuit, and cos of this phase angle is known as the power factor of the circuit. And from that we can find out the power triangle. And here we can see that the working power is working in the base, and perpendicular one is the reactive power, and the apparent power is root over of kilowatt square plus kVAr square. So the apparent power has two components, one is the active part and another is the reactive part, and using the Pythagoras theorem we can find out that cos of theta becomes the ratio of the working power divided by the apparent power, that means kilowatt by kVA. And the power factor of a circuit may be defined as the ratio of the active power to the apparent power. And if we consider the leading currents, the power triangle becomes the reversed. So power factor can also be defined as the ratio of the Z divided R divided by Z, or cosine angle between V and I, or the resistance divided by the impedance, or the active power to the apparent power. So we can assume a circuit having the current of 10 ampere at the voltage of 200 volt, and its power factor is 0.8 lagging. So what is the S? It becomes V into I, which gives us 2 kVA, and the P, that is the V into I into cos pi, and the unit is kilowatt, and becomes V into I, and then cos phi becomes cos of 0.8. So we are finding out 1.6 kilowatt, and the Q, or the reactive part, is Vi into sine theta. So if we put the values, then we can find out that is the 1.2 kilowatt. So the circuit receives an apparent power of 2 kilovolt ampere, and it is able to convert only 1.6 kilowatt into the active power form. The reactive power, that is 1.2 kVAr, neither be consumed nor it does any useful work. It flows back and forth in both directions periodically. So this is the concept of power triangle and the concept of active, reactive and the apparent power. So now what will happen if the power factor becomes low? So we know that 80% of the electrical system are inductive loads, and cause of the low power factor is only due to the inductive loads. So what are the reasons and why the inductive loads are responsible for the low power factor? Now most of the cases AC motors are induction type of motors, that may be single phase or three phase. And during the light load, these motors works at extremely low power factor, that may be 0.2 to 0.3, and it rises up to 0.8 to 0.9 at full load. The arc lamps, electric discharge lamps, welding equipments and the industrial heating furnaces operate at the low lagging power factor. Similarly, the transformer draws a magnetizing current from the supply. At normal load, this current does not affect the power factor. But if the transformer draws the larger amount of the magnetizing current at light load, then it causes low primary current power factor. So, inductive loads are responsible only for the low power factors, and in the industry 80% of the loads are in the inductive nature. So what is the drawback of low power factor? So first, there will be large copper losses. So the larger amount of current at low power factor causes I square R loss or copper loss in all elements of the system. Next is the poor voltage regulation. Now the larger amount of current produces larger amount of voltage drop. All these voltage drops will happen in the transformer, transmission lines, alternators, which gives us poor voltage regulation. And we have to pay the more utility charges because system operated at the low power factor is uneconomical from the supplier's point of view, and suppliers usually takes extra charge from consumers who operated their load at the low power factor. Next is the larger kVA rating. So we know the power factor is the ratio of the working power to the apparent power, or kilowatt divided by kVA. Now the electrical machines are always rated in kilovolt ampere, and kVA rating of any equipment varies inversely with the power factor. So if the low power factor increases, the kVA rating also increases. That means as a result, the kVA rating making the equipment larger and the expensive. And final one is the greater conductor size. So to transmit a fixed amount of power at constant voltage, the conductor will have to carry more current at low power factor. So these are the drawbacks of the low power factor. And the desirable condition is we need to change the power factor almost towards 1, and for this correction different methods of correction of the low power factor has been considered. So these are my references. Hope after this video lecture you have a clear idea regarding today's topic. Now we will go through some question answer session in context of this video lecture. You are requested to go through it gradually and solve it by your own. The answers are attached at the end of each question.